Hi, this is Casey Kasem. You know, the signs of autumn are everywhere. Football's back, baseball's winding down, and the days are ending much sooner than they did before. The leaves on the trees have turned 100 shades of gold, and little goblins are gearing up for their annual night of tricks and treats. Even though there's a nip in the air where you live, it's still 98 degrees in the shade inside your radio. That's because winter, spring, summer, and fall, we count down the hottest hits in the USA each week right here on Casey's Top 40. Now, as we continue our countdown of the biggest hits in the USA, I'd like to welcome a new radio station to the worldwide family of American Top 40. In Portage, Wisconsin, it's WDDC, Portage's Music Connection. Welcome aboard. My name's Casey Kasem. We're counting down the week's biggest hits the way they're ranked on the official Billboard chart. And on we go. Now, we're up to an AT40 Halloween weekend extra as we face some famous phantoms in history. Restless spirits that walk the earth. Ghosts. We've all heard midnight tales around the campfire or in a candlelit sitting room. Most ghost stories are just that, stories. Yet there are some that have mysteriously endured the test of time. Like the story of the ghost of Anne Boleyn. She was one of the 6 wives of England's King Henry VIII. She lost her head at Henry's orders. But every year on the 19th of May, the anniversary of her beheading, Anne Boleyn returns to her home at Blicking Castle. Returns in a coach drawn by 4 headless horses, driven by a headless coachman. And seated in the coach, carrying her own head on her knees, Queen Anne. Another legendary ghost story isn't about one lone spirit, but an entire sailing ship. The Flying Dutchman, a merchant vessel that was destroyed in a storm in 1680. Since then, it's said that any ship which sights the Flying Dutchman will soon after meet its doom. And in 1939, the Flying Dutchman was reported to have been seen by more than 60 people on a beach in South Africa. All of them said they saw the ship head for the rocks and then vanish into the ocean mist. Our third famous phantom is the ghost of an American president, Abraham Lincoln, who's supposed to haunt the White House itself. Among the people who claim to have seen his ghost are visiting Queen Wilhelmina of Holland and First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. She said she and a maid watched a man who looked a great deal like President Lincoln in an old, unused White House room, sitting on the edge of a bed, taking off his shoes. Was it really Lincoln's ghost? We know who to call. Ray Parker Jr. with an AT40 Extra. A #1 song in 1984, Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr., a Halloween weekend AT40 Extra. I'm Casey Kasem. This is American Top 40 in Hollywood. We're counting down the week's 40 biggest hits, and we're 30 hits away from #1. We'll continue in a moment.
I'm Shadoe Stevens on AT40's Halloween show, and look out, it's a nightmare on Billboard Street.
Hi there, this is Fred Krueger. Don't touch that dial, cause there's more to come. Take a nap, kids, I dare you. See in your dreams.
Hey, this is Debbie Gibson. Happy Halloween.
Thanks, Deb.
American Top 40.
Hello, you little trashers. This is Alice Cooper on American Top 40. Happy Halloween. Sweet dreams.
Thanks, Alice. It's a Halloween happening on American Top 40. I'm Shadoe Stevens, and the hits just keep on coming.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and happy Halloween!
Thanks, Bobby.
Hi, this is Stevie Wonder. To all the American Top 40 listeners, have fun, keep it clean, be safe as you enjoy this Halloween.
Thank you, oh wondered one.
Around the world with a shadow.
It was a joke that became history's biggest novelty record. The man who wrote and sang it was actually a country and western singer and actor in the 50s and 60s. AT40 recently caught up with old Sheb Wooley. He told us the story behind his most famous hit of all.
The boy was about 9 or 10 years old, came home from school, and he said, "Daddy, what has one eye and one horn and flies and eats people?" And he said, I don't know. Well, it's a one-eyed, one-horned flying people eater. And all I did is add the purple for color, and that's about it.
And Shep forgot all about that song until the day he auditioned for a record deal.
I had my guitar case open, and I'm going through these lyrics and playing these songs and everything. Well, that's a nice song, but nobody's getting excited. And I said, well, this is the bottom of the barrel, and it's the last one I had in the guitar case. And I pulled up the Purple People Eater, and I did it for them. And Arnold Maxson, who was president of MGM Records, says, yeah, they said, I like that's kind of catchy. He said, send me a copy of that to New York, and I'll get some of our rock and roll kids to record it. Unless you and Jesse Kay want to do it out here on the coast. And Jesse said, well, we want to do it out here, yeah. Then we did it.
It was a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater. Sure looks strange to me.
Oh, the next time your parents make fun of the music you listen to, remind them of that one. Long ago, in a musical galaxy far away, in 1958, the Purple People Eater spent 6 weeks at #1, longer than any novelty record in chart history.
Tequila. Hi, it's Jasmine Guy. Happy Halloween. Have fun.
Thanks, Jazz. Her song, Just Wanna Hold You, holds at number 37 on AT40. Elvis said it was the stupidest song he ever heard. It was banned in England, but it became the Halloween song of all Halloween songs. Well, it took a little digging, but we were able to unearth its singer, Bobby Boris Pickett, long enough to tell us the real story behind the Monster Mash.
I was singing with a group called the Cordials, and the bass baritone has a part in a song called Little Darlin'. The bass part was always, my darling, I hold in mine your little hand. So I asked Lenny Capizzi, the leader of the group, if I could do it as Boris Karloff. My darling, I hold in mine your little hand. I know too soon that all is grand. And the audience would crack up, so Lenny suggested we do a novelty record, which we did in a few hours on a Saturday afternoon in the early spring of 1962.
And that, my little trick-or-treaters, closes the coffin lid on the Monster Mash by Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crypt Kicker.
Hi, Justin from Delamitri. Happy Halloween. Now here's the eerie grin of the Shadow.
Eerie indeed.
American Top 40.
Hi, this is Jason Priestley. All of us at Beverly Hills 90210 want to wish you a very, very happy Halloween.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
Stay right there. We'll be right back.
American Top 40.
I'm Shadoe Stevens. Every country around the world doesn't celebrate Halloween. Of course, we go over the top here in the U.S., but other countries do celebrate. And the lead singer of the band at number 31 explained how they do it back home in Scotland. Here's Justin Curry of Delamitri.
We don't really do trick-or-treat. It's just like lots of Halloween parties, and you get kids coming around the door for asking for money, but they don't do anything. It's more of a kind of scam for kids to get money. I mean, you just get kids coming up to the door when you just go, have some money, please. It's very strange.
Hi, this is Danny DeVito. Happy Halloween.
American Top 40.
If you're a grown-up, Halloween can be a lot of fun and games, but if you're a kid, it's magic. And sometimes, if you're little, it can even be a little scary. The man at number 27 on AT40 told us about a Halloween he'll never forget. Listen to Trey Lorenz.
One time I had the Superman costume, right? And it's so funny because my neighbors are like all crazy and they're really fun, So we go to their house and a lot of times they would like dress up and they'd scare us. I remember one day we went to my next door neighbor's house and they come to the door in like this gorilla outfit. And we were really young, like 6 years old. It scared the daylights out of me. And I remember falling and splitting my Superman costume. It got stuck in a bush or something. I just yanked it so I could get loose.
Hi, this is James Walters from the Heights. Happy Halloween.
Counting down all over the world. American Top 40.
Happy Halloween from Shy.
And if I ever fall in love, so true, I will be sure that the lady's just like you.
Now back to the Shadow on AT40.
Whoa, thanks, guys.
American Top 40.
The fun's just begun. I'm William Shatner. Happy Halloween.
He's dead, Jim.
American Top 40.
You're with the Shadow, and we're getting closer and closer to the biggest song of them all here on American Top 40's Halloween Party. And I think we can all agree Halloween is fun, but unfortunately there are those out there who use it as an excuse for reckless behavior. But what happens when you get caught? The guy at number 5 found out the hard way. He's James Walters, the lead singer of The Heights.
I think my worst Halloween memory was we used to go out throwing water balloons and eggs and doing that sort of stuff, and we picked the wrong house one Halloween, and we used to ring the doorbell, and people would open their doors, and we'd throw all the stuff inside the house, which was even worse. And this guy opened his door, and we threw all our stuff, and he was a cop. He was an off-duty cop, and he ran out and he grabbed like 3 of us and like threatened to arrest us. And we were only like 12 years old, but we were shaking in our boots. And then he called up my stepfather, and my stepfather had to come down and pick me up. It was a nightmare.
American Top 40.
The Premier Radio Networks proudly presents American Top 10 with Casey Kasem.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to American Top 10. I'm Casey Kasem, and I'm all set to count down the 10 most popular songs on the AC chart. On our way to number 1 this Halloween weekend, we'll be treating you to some spooky hits that we've dug up from the past.
Spotlight.
In the AT10 Spotlight, we're playing hits that will haunt this Halloween weekend, like this one. It came with a 14-minute video that cost over $1 million to make, and that was 20 years ago. The song features a guest narration from Vincent Price. Here's Michael Jackson with his number 1 pop hit, Thriller. From 1984, that's Michael Jackson in the AT10 Spotlight with his 2 million selling single, Thriller.
Spotlight.
In the AT10 Spotlight, we've brewed up some haunting hits this Halloween weekend. From 1972, here are the Eagles with a song about a woman with, quote, raven hair and ruby lips. Sparks fly from her fingertips. Echoed voices in the night. She's a restless spirit on an endless flight. Here are the Eagles with Witchy Woman. Those are the Eagles in the AT10 Spotlight with their hit, Witchy Woman.
Spotlight.
In the AT10 Spotlight this Halloween weekend, we're playing spooky hits for your trick-or-treat pleasure. Like this one from 1968. It's a top 3 pop hit by the Classics 4. The lyrics go, just like a ghost, you've been haunting my dreams, so I'll propose on Halloween. Love is kind of crazy with a spooky little girl like you. Here's Spooky.
I said, spooky. Oh, yeah.
From 1968, those are the Classics 4 with a song that floated up to number 3 on the pop chart, Spooky. I'm Casey Kasem playing the biggest hits from the AT10 archives. We're counting down the top 10 biggest songs in the USA and spotlighting Halloween hits along the way. Like this one from 1974. It's an instrumental that was featured in a horror movie starring Ellen Burstyn and Linda Blair about a young girl who becomes possessed by the devil. From The Exorcist, here's Mike Oldfield with Tubular Bells. That's Mike Oldfield in the AT10 Spotlight with a song that peaked at number 3 in 1974, Tubular Bells. It was featured in the Oscar-winning film The Exorcist, and the countdown rolls on.
Spotlight.
In the AT10 Spotlight this Halloween weekend, we're playing magical hits from the past, like this one from 1971. This is Santana with Black Magic Woman. From 1971, Santana with an AT10 Extra, their top 5 pop hit, Black Magic Woman. By the way, the song was first recorded by Fleetwood Mac in 1968. In our AT10 Spotlight, we're treating you to spooky music this Halloween weekend. Like this one from a TV series that aired on ABC from 1964 to 1966. It featured a ghoulish but lovable family made up of Morticia, Gomez, Uncle Fester, Lurch, Grandmama, Pugsley, Wednesday, Thing, and Cousin It. Of course, I'm talking about the Addams Family. Here's Victor Mizzy with the theme for the series. From 1964, that's the Addams Family theme by Victor Mizzy in the AT10 Spotlight.
Casey's Coast to Coast.